know you heard me on the radio. Flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
Fury fam, Larry K here, talking to you as always after another Dolphins loss. It does suck to lose again, but I am here with you. We are going to stay here with you. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you click that join button if you're not already a member. Plenty of perks I talk about all the time. We're not going to get into them right now, but I was kind of cruising the web today, thinking about the loss, thinking about the state of the Dolphins, thinking about the position that I've staked out for a long time now, which was that when you're a quarterback making, that much money, you're supposed to show out and you're supposed to carry the team in a way. And look, Zach Sealer, he gets a terrible penalty in roughing the punter. Honestly, looking at that penalty, it was kind of hard to prevent. He's going for the block. He's a big man. He winds up running into him. Terrible pivotal play in the game. Definitely always hurts whenever you get a penalty on a fourth down kick and it gives the other team a first down and they continue their drive. But the Dolphins still had the ball. They were still marching down the field after that. And it was just a terrible interception that Tua threw that sealed the deal for the Bills. And if this was an isolated incident, if this was Tua's first or second year, it would be forgivable. It would be easy to overlook, right? But this was not. This was a pattern, right? This was an ongoing pattern that we've seen for several years now with this quarterback, where he always winds up making a big mistake in a pivotal point of the game in the clutch, and the Dolphins can't get it done. Now, I'm not going to belabor the point about whether Tua should stay or whatever. You know my position on all of that. I think it's time to completely change the regime. But in surfing the web and looking at some of the other commentary that people had made, including Tua's own comments, I thought there were some really interesting things said that I think they're worth highlighting for you guys, for the Fury Fam viewer, because again, this is an objective channel. I'm going to bring you content that I think is relevant to the ongoing conversation. But I wanted to show you some clips of things. The first one is going to be Tua himself, okay? And I think this is a really telling, guys like TD, other guys have been telling you this for years, and I'm pretty solidly convinced of it now, but I hadn't necessarily been the whole time. After speaking to more people in the know, watching more film, following it a little more, I think I'm pretty convinced. But I think Tua just puts it down right like it is right here, and I think it's important to take a look at. So let's look and let's listen.
I thought I was in rhythm in timing of the play, seeing the flat defender go over the top of Jalen. Jalen's turning around. I think that was a really good play by the defender. And had some color in my face trying to maneuver the throw as well. But 10 out of 10 times, if we're looking at that same thing, I think I'd still try to work that timing of hitting that spot. And I think the linebacker made a great play on that.
Right there, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the man himself say what TD Phins talk. And I don't want to say it's just TD. There's a lot of other people who have said this for years. Tua flat out said, I was trying to work the timing. I liked the timing to that spot. 10 out of 10 times, I would still try to get that timing to that spot. The linebacker made a great play. Tua just told you what many have long suspected, that he throws to a spot based on timing. Now, we know that that's certain offensive philosophies in football, and that can work, and Tua's good at it when it's working. And for a lot of this game, it was even working. Mike McDaniel's offense runs on timing. It works when it works. But it doesn't always work. And when it doesn't work, you need to be able to improvise. You need to be able to see something that doesn't make a lot of sense. You need to be able to anticipate something that's going to throw your timing off or jump in the middle of your route and change the course of a game. And what Tua just admitted to you was that there was timing to a spot. He threw it despite the fact that there was a defender there who was going to change the entire course of the game. And that's where his limitations are hard to deny. They're just hard to deny. And then explaining it 10 out of 10 times, I would do it. There was also color in my face, blah, 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 bro. You just got to be better. You got to get better. You got to do things beyond just timing. And I think a few guys who know something about football, despite the way they dress, I don't know. I mean, look, I love style. I love all that. This cat, man, we all know him. I respect his career. I respect his opinion. I like what the dude's, he's an interesting dude. He's got insightful things to say, but damn, this outfit. I mean, if you're into it, you're into it. But this dude definitely stands out. But I want to play what he had to say as well about the game, the situation, and about what Tua did and said yesterday. And let's get that queued up and play that.
Beat him up, word. Yeah. Tua Tagovailoa is making more than Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, Jaden Daniels. Am I pocket watching? No. I'm putting things into perspective here. Mm-hmm. What Biggie say? More money, more problems. Well, in this case, it should be more money, more expectations. When I see Tua Tagovailoa over this year alone, I've heard him more than I ever have. That's not to say you can't talk. Right. I like quiet Tua, Alabama Tua, chip on the shoulder Tua. Not is somebody going to come in and watch film. Hey, let's see what this is. Hey, I was this and I was that. Taking certain things. Man, bro, what you're being paid, what you're asked to do, what you have the capability of from one quarterback to the other, I look at a situation as like, bro, come on, dog. Especially when you got a Ferrari and a Lamborghini and other amenities that some quarterbacks wish they had.
Well, the problem is this. Tua Tagovailoa needs football 34 times, and you only amass 146 yards because you average 4.3 yards a throw. You ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And then we can't ask you to go above and beyond the X's and O's with your legs because you're fragile. And this isn't a pile on to a Tagovailoa session. This is what we're looking at. This is who we see weekly. It's going to take Mike McDaniel to call this elaborate game, be creative, get the football out of his hands, throw the football behind the line of scrimmage. There was a time in the game yesterday, he wasn't averaging 1 yard per throw. And then you go to the other side of the ball and you're seeing Josh Allen go above and beyond what Joe Brady calls every time it's needed to win the football game. Those are the people you're playing. And then when you get to the end of this game, and Tua's superpower, right? The thing Tua does well is anticipate. Well, if anticipation is what you do, you have to anticipate Terrell Bernard breaking down on the hook, because when you see the flat defender go over, you understand what's coming next because you're bringing the rest of the constitution, the rest of the linebacker crew, the rest of the underneath coverage to you. And my problem with him now is not that he's talking. My problem with him now is that he's explaining.
See, you see what he just said, what they both just said, a few really important things. Really important things. One, when Cam Newton is listening, every single quarterback that Tua makes more than, a number, if not all of those quarterbacks, are more capable than Tua at changing a game, at carrying a team, at being a difference maker. And that is a huge, huge problem. And then you look at what Ryan Clark says, and he's like, look, if you're such an anticipator, anticipation is not just my guy's doing this. This is the spot and the timing I throw the ball to. Anticipation is also what is the defense going to do? Based on the look I saw pre and post snap, what is the defense going to do What is this chess game? The anticipation is on multiple levels. The anticipation is not just when things are flowing nicely in a zone or when your guy is owning somebody in man and you know exactly where he's going to be. It's also anticipating what the defense is going to do. And there are limitations to this player. And to go out and to fight for top dollar and say the market is the market, and then come out, he said this week that he couldn't do half of what Josh Allen could do. No one's going to knock the guy for being honest. He can't do half of what Josh Allen can do. But if he can't do half of what Josh Allen can do, why is he getting paid a lot more than Josh Allen? That's the stuff that I just don't understand. And Clark made a great point. When he's struggling here and in the clutch, he can't get it done. And the guy on the other side of the field makes the most of his opportunities and consistently wins games, regardless of whether the play call is perfect, regardless of who's playing wide receiver. You lose Diggs, whatever, you're still 3-0. When these guys, Patrick Mahomes loses Tyreek Hill and he wins more Super Bowls. This is an issue, and these guys point out the issue, and I think it was important for Miami Dolphins fans to take a firsthand look at what the situation is. This is a quarterback who has a very specific set of skills, who has a very specific thing that he can execute. You have a coach in Mike McDaniel who tailored an offensive system specifically to his skill set to do what he does well, and it has limitations because once you've maximized what you can get out of that unique small skill set of time-based spot passing, once you get out of that, there's not much more you can build on. And so since defenses have caught up, the Dolphins are they've hit a wall. They hit a wall last year and maybe even before that, and it's starting to now crumble back on them. And that's why it's time for the Miami Dolphins to make some serious, tough decisions and move it along. And it's time for us to turn the page. Guys, if you haven't done so, click the subscribe button. Become a member. I do a weekly column. You see all the perks. Executive members, you get to write your own column. You get to say your own things. Whatever. I got to plug it. I got to keep the lights on. Until next time, enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your college ball. Enjoy the rest of the NFL ball if you dare to watch. We will be with you very soon. Enjoy G's rant. Fins up, even in tough times. Larry K. out.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.